The city of Los Angeles will get 21.8 million in federal funds to help house and provide support services to newly arrived migrants, including migrant children living on Skid Row. City officials with support from the county had applied for federal emergency management agency funds to shelter newly arrived migrants who have struggled to find housing after arriving in Los Angeles. Local officials and advocates have pledged to welcome migrants who have arrived in recent years and offer them help, but those efforts have been challenged by the city's acute housing crisis. Hundreds of migrant parents and children this year have gone to live at Union Rescue Mission, a privately funded shelter on Skid Row, while a smaller number have been living in tents on the sidewalk. Housing migrant families can be especially difficult because they are often not eligible for the same housing support as residents. The Department of Homeland Security announced the funds as part of allocation of more than 380 million across the country through its shelter and service program, which helps communities provide housing and other services for newly arrived migrants who are waiting to have their cases heard in immigration court. The city will oversee the grant funding, which will be allocated to three local nonprofits: the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, Kalina Romero, and the Central American Resource Center. The money can be used to provide shelter, including motels for migrants, and to offer support, including food, clothing, transportation, and other services. Mayor Karen Bass had lobbied federal officials for the money, and in early August, five members of the Los Angeles congressional delegation, led by Representative Jimmy Gomez, wrote to FEMA officials arguing them to approve the funds. Quote, "The city has obligated a significant portion of their budget to providing resources for newly arrived migrants, but the city's ability to adequately and humanely serve this population will be strained without additional support. We worry that without federal assistance for sheltering, homelessness throughout Los Angeles will be exacerbated." This is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that people don't deserve a right to have a house and to live and yada, yada, yada. What I am saying is that it's crazy to look at the United States, right? Our government, for all intents and purposes, because that's where our tax dollars go, right? Because we employ them. In certain instances, we vote for these exact same people. But it's very interesting to see how they work so hard for other people that have not shown that they are loyal to this country, right? That they are going to sacrifice for this country, that they are going to do their due diligence for this country, right? It's amazing to see. And I want people to understand this, right? Just think about this for a minute. Me, myself, along with many other Americans, have never owned a home. But yet you're going to have people that didn't even grow up here, that don't even have a history here, never paid any taxes, never went to school, nothing, clean slate. They're going to come here and they're going to have the funding in order to afford a house. Think about that. You and your family have been here for generations, right? You may not have ever have realistically have had a house. You might have just, rented or what have you. But somebody else with no type of generational history here on this land is going to have a home, own a home before you, a taxpayer, somebody that struggled, somebody that's going from paycheck to paycheck, somebody that is in debt from colleges, somebody that is going from job to job, somebody that is trying to better themselves so that they can realize the idea or the ideals of the American so-called dream, right? But as some people stated, in order to live the American dream, right, or in order to have a dream in general, you have to be asleep first. So I guess for all intents and purposes, the migrants and all of the immigrants that are here, they're pretty much asleep. So this is why they are able to receive and get that dream, right? While everybody else who is awake, who is struggling, who can see everything for what it is, we don't have time to actually have that dream because we're living in a reality while other people get to live in a type of pre-made fantasy that can be stripped away or collapsed at any second or moment. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.